Hello, welcome to another episode of American Update. It's Friday, August 13. I'm your host, Edgar Montoya. Welcome to my channel. As of today, Friday, August 13th, it's been 5 days since the end of the Tokyo Olympics. I want to speak today about something, a little problem there was between a couple of the players on the U.S. basketball team. Congratulations first, before anything. I would congratulate them on winning the gold medal for America. And a reporter, a player named Draymond Green, and the reporter named Kendrick Perkins, former NBA player himself. Okay, what Mr. Perkins said, and this was, mind you, this was after the U.S. had lost their first game of the tournament of the Olympics to France, whom they also beat for the gold medal. And not just that one game, but they had lost a few exhibition games leading into the Olympics as well. Mr. Perkins said after those 2 or 3 losses, he said, the world is catching up to America. Draymond Green, Olympian and NBA player, didn't take too well to that. And he said, somebody needs to teach these people some loyalty. How about you cheer for your country? Then he went on to say, you are an American too. Act like it. Okay, I'm going to take this from 2 points of view, there's two points to this talk today. First of all, from a social media point of view or sports media. I'm not a sports reporter, journalist, but I think I can speak as a fan, as an American. And the second point would be political or socio-political. I think there's a lot of Americans who would have something to say to Mr. Green about this. It didn't sit too well, his words. You're an American too, act like it. Okay, we'll get to that. First, from a sports media point of view, as for being sensitive to attacks, criticism from sports media, American athletes don't have a corner on that in the world. That does happen around the world. But I want to compare a little bit, and I'd like to maybe give you some ideas on how athletes in this country, maybe in a lot of respects, have it better than a lot of athletes do around the world with their media, with their sports reporters, media in general in other countries, where more is expected. Now, I can't begin to compare the NBA with the professional basketball leagues of other countries. The difference is day and night, okay? Other basketball leagues cannot really compare with ours. So let me compare first, Mr. Green. Let me talk about comparing another sport, professional sport, to American basketball, what might be the equivalent in this country of the NBA. In most countries, or a lot of European countries and South American countries at least, soccer, or what most of the world would call football. Okay? If you think that the media, the reporters here are tough, that they are critical, I say get some thick skin. Okay? But I'll give you some examples. If you talk about teams around the world, such as Barcelona, Manchester United, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, where Lionel Messi just went to. Teams in South America, my mother's Argentina, Boca, the 2 most famous teams in Argentina, probably pretty well known around the world too, in their own right. Boca Juniors and River Plate, and there are many others you could mention. Don't have time to. The criticism they face for maybe sometimes just losing 2 games in a row. Losing 2 games in a row will raise eyebrows. 3 people start to talk. You lose or draw, you don't win in over 4 games. Depending on the team, for whom some teams like, say, Manchester United or Barcelona, where expectations are high, people are already talking about heads rolling. And forget the players, the way the players are talked about and treated by the fans, by the media. Okay, you look at Lionel Messi, who's just gone to PSG. Okay. He's the king of Paris right now. He's the keys to the city. But let's say when the season starts there, he goes 2, 3, 4, 5 games. That for some reason he doesn't score a goal. Okay? He's the prince of the city now, the king of it. But he doesn't score. He doesn't play too well. He doesn't mesh for some reason for a while with his teammates. He's the toast of the town. But if he doesn't perform soon, he's going to catch it, and catch it hard. Okay? It's brutal. In Argentina, my favorite team there, Boca Juniors. Like I mentioned, that you lose 3 or 4 games, you don't win. There's already talk about the coach losing his job. This is serious stuff. Players are insulted. They'll insult your mother. No, I'd say, Mr. Green, develop some thick skin. Learn that you have it very well. Here, no matter how you do, pretty much, people admire you. They look up to you. The red carpet is rolled out. Okay, your table's set. So I would say you have to, honestly, it's a case of being thin-skinned. Again, we don't have the corner on that, but I think maybe it stands out many times that Americans, we can be a bit of the prima donna when it comes to that, our athletes. And this goes as well, too, for our celebrities, our actors, people in high positions, well known. And I would say especially on the left. Okay? So when people like Mr. Perkins is speaking against you, he's not being anti-American. Okay? He's just anti-bad basketball. And he has a right to speak. Okay? And he even pointed out that right after America won their gold medal, practically the first name out of Mr. Green's mouth and a few other athletes on that team was Kendrick Perkins. And he even pointed out to them, I like what he pointed out to them. He said, "You won the gold medal, and I'm the first person you think of? Okay, I'm honored. Gentlemen, I'm honored." But he said, hey, high honor to you. Play on, but, you've made my day, practically mention me. Be a little bit more thick-skinned, understand. Okay, this is not good. It's bad luck. That's from a media point of view. Okay, now to my stronger point, the bigger point, the thing that really bothers me is from the political point of view. Okay, you're American. You're an American to act like it. Okay, all this just because a journalist criticized your play? That means he's not an American. He's got to automatically give you the rubber stamp of approval and say, you're playing well, we love how you're playing. Okay? I know how much reporters have to butter your toast. I really don't understand this, okay? Act like it too. Well, I could say the same thing to you athletes on the left, you actors, you celebrities on the left, people high up on the left. What happened last year? 2020. In the summer that was unbelievable, it was dystopian, it was a nightmare, when the cities across America were on fire. Cities, let's start with one thing. Businesses being vandalized, being looted, people's businesses being destroyed. Many of them immigrants who came from other countries to start up businesses here saw their livelihoods destroyed. You didn't speak up. You didn't talk in their defense. For people like you who would mean so much, and people pay attention to you, they listen to you. It's valuable what you say, especially among young people. For you to come out and say, no, this is not right. This is not America. We are better than this. No, you gave tacit approval. There was a German theologian named Dietrich Bonhoeffer who once said, not to act is to act. Not to speak is to speak. And I think you did, in your silence, you did a lot of acting last year, a lot of speaking last year. You gave your tacit approval. What else? There were even some people who were murdered last year, and you said nothing. Okay? We Americans, we've disagreed before. In years past, we get along. Not a perfect country. It's not been a perfect country. There's been times of violence, yes. But last year was something from a nightmare. From a nightmare movie. Even a few murders. And Officer Dornan, ex-Officer Dornan in St. Louis, was murdered for standing out in front of his friend's businesses and trying to defend it. A woman who was murdered in front of her child, I forgot what city it was in, for speaking out against BLM. She was murdered. For voicing disapproval, for dissenting points of view, for conservatives speaking out. People, they were attacked, they were criticized. They were told they need to get in line, to toe the line. You said nothing. As people, you could say, what can you say, a person in a position like yours, a position of authority or of fame, of a high level in society, where sports, TV, the movies, what have you, a person in high media, you can come out, you can say, they have the right to speak. You could say we on the left have the right to speak. They on the right have the right to speak too. We accept dissenting points of view. That's who we are. And maybe we have fought hard, but we're Americans. We are brothers. We are neighbors. We can get along. But no, there was silence. That's not acting American. Police being attacked. Okay, before I go further on that, okay, I know I'm not going to hear now. Police abuse. What about police abuses? What about police attacks? Police abuse? Police brutality? Okay, but what percentage of that is? What percentage of that, honestly, has been the police? The bad rap they got last year, the bad rap they're getting this year. Okay? How much it would mean to them for a celebrity like you, Mr. Green, to come out and say, you know what, most police are good people. At your games, when you show up, you have police working sometimes after hours, doing extra duty work, providing security, protecting you, knowing you know they're good people. How can you act? What could you have done? You could have spoken out in their defense. You could have said these are good people. Instead, police getting attacked, getting insulted, statues being toppled. Statues being toppled. Of Washington, of Jefferson, of Lincoln. Okay, not a perfect history, not a perfect people, but you could have spoken out, you could have acted, Mr. Green and others like you. You could have said, it's not right, stop this behavior. We are America. And you succeeded in this country. It was set up for you to succeed, for me to succeed, for many people, for whoever has a chance to succeed. Many do, many don't. But you had the chance, you had the opportunity. Many minorities who succeed here, they wouldn't have the chance to succeed in other countries. And these were men who started up, who founded this country, spoke in defense of it, who took this nation through tough times. Not perfect, but men who love this country, who had a vision for it. Not the best, maybe a lot of people might say today, not the best country in the world. But it was the best idea behind the founding of this nation. But tear down the statues, tear down that thought of America, of a unified, or a great America with a great potential, a great future. You want to rewrite the history. People want to rewrite the history. You say nothing. You say nothing. But it shouldn't surprise me. I guess it shouldn't surprise me, but being so thin-skinned. You are part of that snowflake crowd. You're proud of the part of that crowd that looks for its safe spaces. Don't hurt me, don't criticize me, don't talk against me. That's incredible. Just act like a grown-up, act like an American. Okay? Learn that we have the right, as you have the right to criticize, we have the right to criticize you too. Whether it's for actions on an everyday basis, for what you say, for your political point of views, or the way you play a game of basketball. Laura Ingraham last year told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. He said, no, we'll never shut up and dribble. The problem though with LeBron James is that he would turn to us on the right and basically tell us, shut up and dribble. We don't have the right to speak. Every force comes against us to shut us down. Act like an American and accept us. Okay, our points of view. Okay? You don't like to be criticized? We don't like it either. But we may understand it. It's just a different point of view. So I say we could do better. Let's all act like Americans. Step back, lay the cards out on the table and say, okay, what is America? Speak with each other, maybe criticize each other. But what we saw last year was horrible. We're going through some bad stuff now. We can do better. We can talk better. We can act like better. What does it mean when you say, really, you're an American too? Act like it. Thank you so much for watching. I will look forward to your comments, even negative ones. To your likes, subscribe to my channel, and just thanks for watching. I'll be open to other themes and topics we could talk about. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.